On April 29, which was a Monday, I got out of bed early because it was my travel day. The Dumaguete Literary Festival already had its soft closing ceremonies on the night before. I have vlogs about the festival on my channel, and I will link them all in the description box. So it was my travel day, so I decided to start my day early enough, beginning, of course, with a buffet breakfast at Sierra Hotel. There was tocino again, but this time it wasn't the nice, soft, sweet, and salty tocino that I had 2 days prior. But I did like the corned beef and the skinless longanisa, and just like before, I had the garlic rice and an orange juice. And then on this morning, there was ube flavored champorado. I had a relatively light breakfast this morning because I never liked traveling on a super full stomach. I prefer to just eat small meals here and there as I crawl closer to my destination. And when I got to my room, it was time to pack. It's easy to pack my bags going back home, especially if I'm coming from a hotel room that I have occupied alone, because then I know everything in it belongs to me. Packing my bags to leave the house is so much more tricky, which is why I always have a detailed packing list every time I travel. But packing to go home is a breeze. So while I am packing, let me just share some of my thoughts about this trip, which was specifically for the first ever Dumaguete Literary Festival. Like I mentioned in one of my previous vlogs about this festival, the first time I was ever in Dumaguete City was in May of 2002 when I was accepted as a fellow to the Dumaguete National Writers Workshop. I was with 9 other fellows in different genres, and we stayed here for 3 weeks. This National Writers Workshop is the oldest workshop in the Philippines, founded by the husband and wife team of Edith and Edilberto Tiempo, who have undergone the Iowa Writers Workshop in the United States in the 1950s. When they came back to the Philippines, that's when they founded this Dumaguete workshop. Mom Edith went on to become a national artist for literature in 1999. I met her in 2002 when I came here as a fellow to the workshop. I never met Dad Ed. He has already passed on by then, but Mom Edith was a wonderful person, very gracious and kind. She was never arrogant or bossy despite her status. She was the mother of all the fellows who ever came to the workshop all those many decades. However, her standards were very high, very high. She was very exacting, but she always treated everyone with grace. I learned a lot from my stay here in 2002, lessons about writing fiction from Mom Edith, from the other panelists, and from my fellows that I carried with me all these many years. And those are the lessons that have served me very, very well in my career as a writer of fiction. In 2002, we didn't have social media and I didn't even have a camera, but I do remember that we already had cell phones, but the smartphones have not even been invented yet. So I have no electronic memories of my stay here in 2002, but I did have my journal entries, which I have saved, of course, which included a battered piece of paper that had an old ranga in it, with each line written by a different workshop fellow one night in May of 2002. Now, these are the 2 certificates I need to bring home with me. The red one was given to me last April 24 when I went to the Bicol University in Daraga. The vlog for that will be linked down below. And this framed one was given to me during the Dumaguete Literary Festival, but I really only need the paper certificates, which I store inside a clear book. The frame with the glass and the red folder I decided to give away to the hotel staff. The frame is very beautiful. They can certainly use it to hold a photo that they love and display it in their homes. As for the papers, I placed them inside my personal items bag together with my laptop. I really feel so honored to have been invited to the Dumaguete Literary Festival by writers and with writers that I really respect and admire. I saw my old friends and I also made new ones. And this is the very first ever literary festival in Dumaguete, so it was an additional honor to be part of such a foundational event. There will be a literary festival in Dumaguete every year henceforth, and the dates for the festival in 2025 have already been set. They have an official Facebook page, and I will link it down below. I'm so proud of everyone who made this festival happen. I cannot congratulate them enough directly, face to face, and on social media. I wish them all the best for the next festivals. And now that I'm all packed and I have a little bit of time left, let me just take a moment to thank this room that had provided me with so much comfort for 5 days and 4 nights. This hotel stay has been paid for by the organizers of the festival, as were my plane tickets flying to here and back home. Number 58 EJ Blanco Drive, where the events for the festival were held, is just over there by those clump of trees. Just one last look, and then I took my key card out of the ID holder so that I can surrender it to the front desk upon checkout. See, my DIY luggage pass-through straps are still on here, but fraying very badly. After a short wait in the lobby, the van took us to the airport. I was actually traveling on the same flight with 2 other riders, fellow guests to the festival, and we all had connecting flights to different destinations. I was given 2 boarding passes. One pass was for this specific flight, and the other one was for my connecting flight. As usual, I will be sharing with you now some video clips of the travel, this time homeward bound.
To tighten to loosen up the strap, to loosen to buckle and pull, to unfasten and double buckle for free and to release. If you are with an infant, fasten your seatbelt and wrap your arms around your infant's waist. Your life vests are found under your seats. On a water landing, remove sharp objects from...
This is Pasay, where everyone going to Metro Manila gets off. I need to go to the pre-boarding area to wait for my connecting flight to Daraga. And just to make sure, I asked the crew here to double check my boarding pass, which I was given earlier, and then they okayed it, and then I was free to go to the pre-boarding area for the long wait until my next flight. I had a 5-hour layover. Of course, there was food. I saw siopaw and then I suddenly had a craving for it. This is supposed to be bola bola siopaw, but I was eating in a very uncomfortable place. It was a crowded area, so I wasn't able to film properly. But after a short while, I found an actual chair to sit in that had a table. And from that cafe over there, I got this really good tiramisu. Because of the person with disability discount, I paid only 100 pesos for this instead of the regular price of 140. And while I was at this nice waiting spot, I was also able to get some work done for my YouTube videos. This tiramisu is really good, very, very rich, and the serving was quite large too. Closer to my boarding time, I freshened up in the bathroom. And just to give you an idea of the heat, it was already almost 3 o'clock in the afternoon, but the UV index was still high. During boarding, I always opt to take the priority lane on account of my status as a registered person with disability. Even if I already had assigned seating, I find that it's just easier for me to handle my luggage with my one fully functioning non-dominant hand if the plane is not yet too crowded.
Lift of buckle and pull. To unfasten, lift up of buckle, pull free and to release. Your life vests are found on the rear seats.
It's so nice to have been seated at window seats on the flights to my final destinations. Like here now, I can share with you the Mayon volcano that I can see through the window. At the exit, Jawide met me with my car, which he drove all the way from Naga City, which was about 2 hours away. Actually, not 3 hours like I mentioned in a previous vlog. It was a long day, and I traveled from Negros Oriental to Metro Manila to Albay province, and now here is Jawide driving us back to Naga City, which is in the province of Camarines Sur. It is nice to be back.